you know that every single time that they get a tip, you lose money. And that's just the way it goes.
Welcome to the Rachel and Drew Show. I'm Drew.
I'm Rachel.
Welcome back to the show, guys. A lot happening in the world. Lots to discuss, lots to talk about. But quick update from us. I don't think we got to cut an episode last week. And if you're a regular listener, we apologize. We have been all up in our education and recording these massive days, shooting the best content that we can for our education, for educators, and all of that. But how are you doing?
I'm fine. Just, pregnant, large and in charge. So, just, my hips hurt. This, typical pregnant complaints over here. But I'm fine. I'm doing my work. I'm getting my shit done. And, definitely going to sleep a little bit earlier than usual.
Yeah.
Or trying.
We're doing good. We have like a 10 o'clock. You have like a 9:30 bedtime. I have like a 10 o'clock bedtime.
I'm in bed at 9. And no one else is in bed. And I keep telling people to get in bed. And they just I can get some of them in bed. And then the other one leaves the bed. And then the other one, I'm just like, stay up there. Stop coming down here.
It's pretty difficult right now with the young boys.
We're
and the young
outnumbered.
Kids. Yeah, Hendrix will get up and run out of the bed and they'll have to go. Like she's saying, it's wild. We have to do everything
I just stay in bed. I'm like, I'm done. I'm here. I'm staying here. I'm not getting up again.
And then I'll go get them in bed and lock the house down and all that good stuff. So
doors are locked. He can run around. I'm staying here.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we want to talk about some business stuff. Let's dive into some salon. I really want to talk a little bit about some things that I have come to learn over the years with marketing and talking to a lot of people, and just what I really have seen has worked. And then we also want to touch on some things that are happening in the legislation on the taxation of tips in your state, how that could impact you, how it might differ from state to state. I don't think it's happening right now upon the recording of this episode, but it is likely you could be watching this in the future. And it could already be a thing. So you want to chat about your thoughts on that?
I hope it happens, and regardless of which way you voted, it doesn't exactly matter. If you own a small business and you have service providers who are getting tipped, that every single time that they get a tip, you lose money. And that's just the way it goes. And it sucks, for you. It's great for them, in the sense of you're like, woo, awesome. So happy that, you did such a great job, did such a great service. You got $100 bill for that service. And now I just lost $12, So that's kind of the thing that's the reality, honestly, for every $100 or so, you're losing like $10 to $12. So, and Christmas time is really when I find in our salons, especially, that our clients are like making it rain, and, the girls are getting Christmas gifts and, tips and things. And, it's tips are a very huge piece that can contribute to a stylist, earning an extra 15-ish K a year, that she can use for education. She can use for, buying scissors, going, to eat, going on trips, whatever. But, what I've never really understood as an owner and also just as a consumer is like, why is that taxed? Because when you look at the gift tax, right, you have to, have given an individual person, like I'd have to have, I can't necessarily give it to you, but like Brooks over here, like if I gave Brooks $18,000 and Brooks would be like, yeah, I'll take it. But if I gave him $18,000, right, that's the limit. So I can give him up to that amount of money as a gift. So, if you have grandparents or your parents or whatever, and you have kids and they're wanting to gift your kids, money for college or money for this, like you don't have to pay tax on that, which is incredible. However, like I don't really exactly see the difference between someone giving a stylist $100 Sephora gift card for Christmas and then $100 bill, just as a gift after her service because she just loves her stylist. So I'm super excited about the possibility of no tax on tips. I think that's going to be incredible. And I think it's going to be a lot easier for salon owners for cash flow because, it is very it's difficult to anticipate, even if you, let's say at a baseline budget, 20% of services as tips and calculate your employer taxes on that amount, you still just never know like what the generosity of people and what they're going to give. And that's not really something that you want to like not be excited about either.
So that's going to drive more profit. And that's really what we are really always looking to learn and share about profits and how salon owners can make more of it. Right.
Yeah, you got to make more money because, like, salon owners don't make a lot. There's not a lot left over once you divvy up the pie. There's hopefully a slice for you, you know? And it's extremely important that you view your business as a pie, and that you've got, you've got to make sure that there's a piece there left for you. Because otherwise, what are you doing it for? You know what I mean? And I think we all open our businesses because we want to do things differently. We see a need for something that we didn't have, and so we set out to create this thing for not only ourselves to enjoy for our clients, but to have a really awesome home for other stylists to be able to experience the same thing. So that's really the heart behind all salons, I believe, and why they get started. And then very, very quickly after that, you really start to realize in business ownership of a salon, like, oh, wow, this is like so not the cash cow that I thought I was going to have, because there's so many expenses and overhead. And, there's always, there's so many variables, which is why it's so difficult to scale a salon.
They can become a cash cow, though. Like when you do them correctly, or the way that we teach is, they really can. They'll ride. I mean, from what we've seen salons bring in over $4 million a year. But you're really not going to see a service-based business with some retail go. I mean, you're getting to the top of what is, wouldn't say possible, but what is typical that you see in this spread from salons making $5K a month, to a couple $100,000 plus a month, and the cash for us when we were doing the first one, when we had one location, and what was it? We were bringing in, profit margin was like 22% at that place. We only had the one. That's all we did.
This was all business, like expenses paid off, like build outs paid off.
Yeah,
like,
it was cruising.
So you have to be able to see too, like pre-loan payments, right? If you're going to have some sort of startup costs, and if you're doing a build out, you're going to have quite a bit of startup costs. Even if your landlord's contributing, TI allowance, which really doesn't come to you until after you've already paid off everything. It's more of a reimbursement. So, it's important for you to look at your profit margin pre-loan payment, but then also be able to look at it after loan payment, because that'll be a huge difference. And as long as your business is profitable, right? Like that's good. That's like the bare minimum. That's like the absolute bare minimum of what you need out of a business in order to even keep the business, for it to even make sense. But then the goal becomes like, how can we increase profit? And that's always going to come from decreasing overhead, right? Which could be in the form of employer taxes. Part of your overhead expenses is going to be your employer taxes. If you're doing medical stuff, medical coverage for your team, you're doing maternity leave, you're doing all these other things. A lot of those decisions that I just mentioned, though, are more for staff retention. And they've certainly helped us retain our staff by being able to offer benefits and perks and things like that, to be able to really just give our team something that they absolutely will not find anywhere else. And there's not a single salon in my area that I don't even know of a single salon within, 25, 50 miles of us that have maternity leave or anything. I mean, it's unheard of.
It also comes, it's kind of our values. We want to, we really identify with families, just because we have the hardest part about our day is probably just managing our kids at the same time they're healthy, and we're grateful that they are.
Lots of energy. I was
have
like,
so much energy.
I'm glad they have energy, but shit.
You have to manage it, right? So
Yeah.
Anytime we can help the parents that work for us, and that creates more value to the team. When you get more value dispersed into your community through your business, the business is perceived as more valuable, and people spend money on what they find valuable.
Well,
right?
and people want to support, the small business that is involved in the community. They want to support the local, power couple who has kids and, sings at church, and like they see that stuff. Like, you'd be surprised what your community knows about you that you may not know they know about you. So,
because most people they're scrolling, which is something that we have really been focusing on not doing, and 2 hours a day. Like, we call it doom scrolling. Like, you just get pulled into like all the crap on the internet, and who knows where it's going to go. And that's 2 hours a day on average of people, so that's standard of what's happening. So they're going to, if you're posting content, if you're contributing content rather than devouring all the content, they're going to see what you got going on. So they're going to see, they're going to know.
Totally. And it's important too, like, as you like that you put yourself out there, like if you are, like we always say, like, we are a faith-based salon. Like, we talk about Jesus to our team. Like, we have a verse of the week on the wall, like, and that's just something that we put out there. And we actually had a girl that, it's hilarious because Drew was literally talking to her for 20 minutes at the front desk.
Yeah, I thought we had hired her, but we had not.
And I was just like, I missed that. I already knew it wasn't going to hire her anyway. We were just following our process. She made it through the first interview. We were going to go into the working interview, like the shadow day, and he's sitting there just talking and talking and talking. And it's so funny because, like, I'm like, I would think I was getting my hair done with Caitlin that day, and I'm like laughing, and Caitlin's like, poor Drew, like, he doesn't know that we're not hiring that girl over there.
Just pouring into her.
Yeah, just but that's just like what we do when we go into the salons. Like, it's like whoever we come in contact with, we're just trying to be valuable and like connect with them. And so that's what he was trying to do with this person. So I was like, well, despite the fact we're not hiring her, at least she walked away hopefully inspired or learned something relating to marketing or sales. I mean, I didn't really know what you were talking about. I just assumed that would probably be one of those two things.
Oh yeah, we can even talk about it here. What I was talking about what we're going to be doing.
Oh, hang on a minute. So what I was going to say is this girl, I won't say who, but she basically was going to school part-time, for something. And I didn't do the interview. But this is like the piece of the interview that I heard about. And basically the person shared that she's going to school to learn why Christians believe in what they believe in. So it's like so much so. Like, she just doesn't get it. And it was like the way that she was about it and the way she described it and everything, I was just like, okay. Like, this is not probably the, like, this isn't gonna like flow easily here. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's very like anti religion and Jesus and all this stuff. And so much so that she's like critical of it and like, ridiculing it. And then, I'm like, literally, as this girl's getting a tour of our salon, there's a freaking verse of the week on the wall. But it's important for you to have a really clear like view of what your values are, and to know that, when you're out and about, like, people see you and you may not know who they are, but they know who you are, because you are a local business owner and they're going to, especially the more years in business you have, you're more established, you've interacted, our salons have like 20,000 services a year happening each one. And you don't realize just because you aren't doing 19 or 20,000 people a year doing hair yourself, it does not mean that people aren't 100% clear about who you are and that you are the business owners. Yeah.
And then one of the things that we were kind of talking about up there, which we kind of transition over to, because this piggybacks off of the tip thing, right? So is just with, after speaking to a lot of, this could be a whole episode on itself, but I'll keep it brief. The amount of marketing that's not happening to bring in people to tip is amazing, and you hear it a lot in the industry where people are saying, I have never marketed. I have not done any marketing ever. We've grown all by referral basis. That's not good. That's not like a brag, but people kind of brag about it. But what that says is like, I have no idea how to market. Thank goodness that people share about what I'm doing because I've gotten referrals, right? Referrals are one way to get clients. But after I've been speaking to, I've been triple booked each day just having conversations with salon owners and the state of the industry. If you're listening to this podcast, you're going to be well ahead. If you're a regular listener to this podcast, you're going to be well ahead of most salon owners out there.
1,000%.
And
I don't know of a single salon owner podcast.
Rach overhears some of my conversations, but she doesn't have to do them all. You know? And just how easy it is. And I say easy, like if you want to build a location that is remarkable and brings in the amount of money for your family and your town and your team, do it. You can do it. There's so many people who are afraid to do it. Like there's just fear everywhere.
This is honestly why I don't take a lot of the calls, is because I'm like,
Rach has she almost maybe has a little too much perspective she has too much perspective to have a conversation like that based off of, your experiences in your life. And and she just doesn't see a problem, I'll kind of walk them through it. But if you tell Rachel about this little thing, that you feel, some dinky, perceived
like
proverbial
there's
problem.
somebody that's literally like shut the doors of their salon because mentally they just couldn't handle it. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You couldn't mentally handle it? Like, you have 3 chairs and you're using one of them, you have 2 others, and you've got very part-time stylists. You have a full, done for you budget sheet, systems, templates, front desk, Bible, coach in your pocket, and access to all of these resources that you literally won't pick up, and you mentally can't handle it. Like, I just don't know. I have a hard time. It's difficult because I don't want to minimize someone's feelings ever, but by the same token, I just have a really hard time being empathetic or sympathetic to somebody that literally won't even help themselves.
Yeah, you have to participate in your own rescue. Like, people will throw you a life raft, but you have to grab it.
You're just sitting there splashing around.
And a lot of people are like, I can't grab it. I can't do it. And you're like, well,
it's like, you know what? I think I do believe that not everyone's cut out to own a business. That's for sure. But if you're just doing this little thing, this little thing in this little room with a little business, girl, like come on. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think it was going to be easy? It's going to be challenging. Like, if it was easy, everyone would do it. And you have to also, sometimes you gotta eat what you put on your plate, and if you filled your plate and now the business is not just about you, you've got assistants and stylists and clients, and you got people counting on you to make it work. So just make it work, right? It's like a marriage. Like, Drew and I are going to make it work. Like, we don't always have great days. Like, I've been a little more grumpy lately, I'd say.
Little bit, y'all.
More so just because I'm just tired and I just want to go to bed, and like no one's asleep yet. So that's mostly it. But I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed in the morning. I'm happy in the morning. But you're not up. You're sleeping. I wake up way earlier than you.
You are getting up super early.
I have literally been up for 7 hours right now. Thank you.
Oh.
And I got all my work
but
done.
But is it like a proper wake up, or is it like, I can't sleep, so I'm gonna get up?
No, like, I get up, like my body's ready to get up, and my brain's like ready to work on stuff. Like,
it's quiet. You have your quiet time.
Yeah, it's great. So like, it's like a marriage though. Like, now you have to make it work. You have a commitment to the other person to make it work. And so many people don't view their business as, they just view it as like this disposable thing, when really, like, yeah, if push came to shove and I'm like, I got to choose between my marriage and my business, I would choose my marriage 1,000%. Would it be hard to let something that I love and built go? Yes, but you have to like think about what's actually more important at the end of the day. For most people, they are never going to be at a crossroads like that where they have to choose one important thing over another. Most times they will sign a lease. They get this because they're trying to impress other people, is really why. They will sign a big girl lease, or even a, kind of a little lease, and just to I guess because they feel like that's the next step for them, or that's what they're supposed to do. A lot of times it's like an ego-driven thing. And I will tell you, and if you're listening to this and you are a true entrepreneur, you freaking know that you are likely the odd one out in most groups of friends or tables that you sit at. Like, you are just like, your mind's on fire all the time. You got so many ideas. You have so many cool things you want to do and create. And like, you are the happiest creating. That's who I am.
There's this saying I heard that where a lot of people don't have, like if they don't have goals or hobbies or things like that, like to share about how I think about, I don't know if you think about it like this too, but
I'm
it's like
sitting here I don't have a hobby. I just like to
I am into so many
stuff.
different things, and I love so many different things. Like I want to have 100 lives to be able to master and explore each of those things. There's not enough time in the day, literally, and I'm not wasting time. You know, we're productive, we're doing our thing, but it's like, man, I would really love to spend a couple hours reading a book about this or doing this or doing that. Like I'm just so into so many different things. And so when someone's like, when they're closing their business down because they mentally can't handle it, I'm like, we're just a different, you might be like this too, like a different breed of human.
It's just hard to like, it's like one of those things. It's like, well, it's like, and sometimes I feel like people say stuff like that because they want to get a rise out of you. They want to like, and it's like, if I care more about your business than you do, like this definitely won't work. You know what I mean? And a lot of times that's kind of what I hear through the glass, walls at our office if you're talking to people. But and we talk to amazing people. I mean, really great people. But I will tell you, like Drew was saying, it is so much easier to be successful as a salon owner than you guys realize. It's so freaking easy now.
Gotta get that mind
I'm
right.
not saying that
lock in.
I'm not saying you're not going to have problems. I'm not saying you're not going to have, cash flow things at times. But I'm saying
you can have all that
for
shit.
your salon to be the best salon in your zip code, it is not freaking hard at all. Like, it takes honestly, just a few things done really well, and not just really well, but more consistently, that will yield that result. And it really requires just discipline inside of you. It's not, 1 + 1 = 2 and divided by, it's like not like a math equation or like a recipe. Like it's just doing ordinary things extraordinarily well.
Oh, where'd you?
Well, where'd you hear that? I'm sure you didn't make it up.
Well, hey, I didn't make up any of the words that I say.
Let's not go there. I don't want to go into the linguistic definition of, I don't want to. I've heard it 1,000 times. And they probably have too.
But yeah, like Rachel said, you got to do the ordinary thing extraordinarily well. Like, and there's nothing remarkable about it. There's nothing terribly exciting. There's no like unlocking a unicorn. The same thing. It's like, I think one of the questions you should ask someone in that instance, or even yourself, if you're listening to this, which you are because you're here, but like, what did I think it was going to be easy? Look at me, I'm pregnant. Like, what if I did, even if I did a million sit-ups tonight, I am not having abs tomorrow. There's no freaking way. You know what I mean? Like, I physically can't right now. You have to, and then that's when burnout happens. When you go just race, you get really, really inspired and really motivated by maybe a podcast episode or maybe a coaching call or a cool resource that you found. And then you just go just balls to the wall and do that, and then you just burn out, in one day, and then you basically say, oh, I tried that, it didn't work. No, you didn't try. You attempted that, and it didn't work. And the only reason it didn't work is because you really didn't even give it a fair chance, and you didn't even go back for seconds or thirds or fourths. So it's like, what do you expect? Yeah, I mean, the thing is too, you don't want to maybe add a different angle to what she just said. Is like, you don't try things, do things.
Yeah.
I think Yoda said something like that.
Who? Yoda?
Brooks will know.
Yoda?
Do not.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't even make it through a movie of Star Wars.
Actually look up, you want some motivation? Google Yoda quotes. They're amazing. Serious. There's tons of them. But if you guys want to learn more about how to do this and like how to get these things in place in your business, there's going to be a link in the bio. Check it out. We'll walk you through like what we do, how we do it. And then every business needs kind of a little bit of a tailored fit because every business is slightly different.
Yeah.
Then we can hop on and kind of go through some challenges you're having, go over some goals you have and see if we can help guide you there. And free call, check it out, link down below. And then I think we'll wrap it up there, y'all.
See you on the next episode.